Hello everyone, my name is Loko and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. Today it is time to check out a new hero in the game known as Gul'dan, who is as of right now available on the PTR, and I believe next week is when he will be introduced into the game. Now obviously Gul'dan, there's been rumors of Gul'dan being added into the game for a very long time. I mean, he's one of the lead characters in the Warcraft lore, and today we're gonna just simply try our very best and rack up some kills with him. Now he is the very first Warlock of the Horde, as many of you probably will be aware. And because of that very reason, if you've played a Warlock at all in World of Warcraft, now you actually have to be careful here. Oh man. Oof. If you've ever played a Warlock in, for example, World of Warcraft, you will be familiar with most of the abilities, and I personally really like that. For example, one of our main abilities on our D is going to be our Lifetap. And Lifetap basically means that I sacrifice some of my own life in order to obtain a little bit more myself. On top of that, I've got Drain Life, which, what are you doing, dude? Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. So close, dude. I got, on my D ability, I got Lifetap. So for example, right there I used it. As you can see, I sacrificed some of my own life in order to obtain a little bit more HP. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Or a little bit more mana. And on top of that, I've got Drain Life on my W, which has a rather long cooldown, or 8 seconds. It's not like super long. But I'm gonna be allowed to basically drain life from minions as well as enemy heroes. So it's like a constant battle, since I don't actually regenerate mana myself. It's like a constant battle to make sure that I got a sufficient amount of sustain here and that I don't actually end up falling. So besides my D as well as my W, I got an E ability, which is the main damage dealing skill that I'm gonna be focusing on today. I don't know if this is going to be a good build. I'm just trying random things right now, because obviously, hey, this hero is going to be new. Obviously, that is going to be one of the damage dealing skills that I have. And that's basically like this circular type thing here on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and improve my Lifetap, probably worth it. And basically what happens is the enemies are damaged throughout the duration of that. Now we also got our Q ability, which has a really low cooldown. Really very low cooldown. And that's really cool because it allows us to jump enemies just like that. Ooh, nice. It allows us to jump enemies constantly, and it's gonna be our main damage dealing skill in these sort of like, you know, short range combat situations, I suppose, because we are gonna be capable of doing quite a little bit with that. Now, at the same time, I'm gonna go ahead and activate this thing, by the way. At the same time, since I don't regenerate mana, right? Since I don't regenerate mana like any other hero does, I need to constantly make sure that I am using my abilities to be at the top of my game. Like, I need to make sure that I am using my abilities to, you know, at the very least deal damage, but also at the same time... Ooh, there we go. At the same time, also make sure that I don't go down, right? So right now I'm siphoning life. I do have to stand still in order for that to be useful, and I think we may very well have to run here. I do have to stand still before I'm gonna be useful. So, since it is to channel, right? Since it has to channel, it's rather difficult to, you know, get a proper target of it right there. And I think being in the middle of combat may make that a little bit more difficult. Alrighty. Gotta be careful. Everyone's cutting it real close. But that's fine. Ooh, accidentally actually used my drain life there, or my Lifetap there rather than my drain life. All is good though. We're still in a pretty okay situation. I'm a little bit low right now on mana, so, or on health rather, although our Uther did come back in already, which should be fine. Now obviously, since this hero is new, right, I'm always gonna be playing him a little bit more on the safer side of things. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and set up a little bit more sustain here for our E ability. As you may have noticed, the E ability does have a very long cooldown. Right now, whenever I use the whenever I use my my Fel Flame, my Q here, and I hit an enemy hero with it, it will allow me to reduce the cooldown of my E ability. As far as talent builds go, though, I've just been testing out some things in the store, and I've come up with something that I think is going to be useful. If you're interested in the one that I'm running, I will leave that down below in the description of this video. But so far, I'm not gonna lie, this hero does seem like a heck of a lot of fun. I mean, I'm a big fan of ranged assassins in general. And I'm a big fan of World of Warcraft, as well as the Warcraft lore, as well as Warlocks in general. So, as far as those, or like, if you have absolutely no idea, right, who Gul'dan is, basically, he used to be a shaman back in the early days of the Orcish Horde. And, he basically talked to this guy called Jaden, who, I don't want to go too far into the lore anyway, but he basically betrayed his people and became a Warlock. And he was the very first Warlock of, you know, of the Horde. Which is pretty cool. Like, in total, like, they actually managed to really, you know, get the feel of a Warlock from, you know, from World of Warcraft in this guy as well, which is great. Like, I think that's absolutely awesome. I'm trying my very best here to take him out. I'm super low. Whoo! Nice one. Nice one. Nice one there by our Kerrigan. Also one of my favorite characters. Anyways, we got two really great ultimates. In particular, the first one I picked right now. I say two, but it's really, I think this one is going to be the one that we'll primarily see in competitive at the very least. I have an Area of Effect Fear ability right now. And that Area of Effect Fear is going to be insanely good. You can upgrade it at level 20, and as you can see, the cooldown of it is only 80 seconds. And every one of these enemies that's going to be called in this circle will start fearing. And what that means is that they're going to run around like headless chicken, which will probably allow us to really get some good good situations going. So right there, for example, is going to be one of those fears. Try my very best to get a solid one. Sadly, actually, I did just get in a pretty terrible scenario, but it looks like we managed to clean it up either way. Lucky for me, though, we have an Uther who seems to be very capable. One of the things I'm noticing right now, it's going to be pretty difficult, I think, to pull off this hero in quick match when you're without a dedicated healer. Our Uther right here is doing extremely good. Oh. There we go. There we go. Nice. Trying to push onwards. Yeah, as you can see, like, when they walk out of range, of the Siphon Life or my lifesteal, you're basically immediately gonna be in a, you know, you're gonna immediately be in a pretty scary situation. All in all, though, I think this hero is actually really, really fun. Like, he seems to be one of those heroes that I can personally soak a lot of time into. And that is always, that's always a good moment. And he may very well be one of the staple characters. Now, one of the things that he is going to be lacking, I mean, staple characters, I mean, one that you will see a lot in competitive. I wouldn't be surprised at the very least. But one of the things that he is definitely lacking is mobility. Like, I don't have any mobility. And since I will be running around pretty much never with full HP, right? You gotta make sure your positioning is on point. Because you're always gonna be, you know, stealing your own life and whatnot. You got to make sure your positioning is on point. Now, in the top line, they are pushing onwards. I don't think we really care about that all too much. I think we are just simply gonna hang out over here instead. But it's pretty difficult to sometimes get him into the battle. Right now, for example, I needed to heal up, right? I needed to heal up. Now, I'm trying to get my fear in. There we go. There we go. And that is one of the usage right there of the fear. Insanely powerful. And as you can see, that immediately did a heck of a lot of work there. Allowed us to, at the very least, pick off a couple of the enemies. Now, I'm hoping here that we are going to be able to find a target to siphon some life from. Because right now, I don't have very much of it. We'll go ahead here and use the Health Stone then. There we go. Health Stone seems to be really good. Ooh. Obviously, a whole bunch of other heroes have been changed as well. So, obviously, that means that people are still trying to figure out how the characters are meant to be played and stuff. But so far, I'm actually rather impressed. As you can see, the cooldown on my Q is super low, though. Really, really cool. Okay. I've been tapping like mad, Uther. I think he doesn't like me too much for doing that. I think he may very well have been dedicating a little bit too many heals to me. Oh well, oh well. Maybe I've been siphoning some life out of Uther at this point, right? Who I guess is on the complete opposite side of the spectrum as far as lore goes. Anyhow. Let's go ahead and do this camp. I think that probably would be useful. I'm hoping that someone is going to end up helping me. There we go. You can't, by the way, steal any life off of... you can't, by the way, steal any life off of, for example, buildings or whatever. Like, it makes sense, I guess, but just in case you were wondering, like, you can't only really tap life off of biological units. Or, I guess, heroes and whatnot. But just not buildings. Ooh. This Health Stone is going to be huge. Actually, this Health Stone is going to be real helpful. I actually think the level 16 or level 13 talent Health Stone may very well be one of the standard ones. Okay, trying to get my fear in. Oh, I'm super low. I'm super low. Ah, and I do end up falling there, sadly. I was trying to run away. Sadly, that wasn't an engagement we should have taken in the first place. Looks like our Kerrigan is going in now, though. That may be a little bit too ballsy. Obviously also one of the heroes that changed, as well as Zagara. I haven't actually had a chance yet to try out Zagara. If you're interested in that video that I will definitely be making about her, because she's one of my all-time favorites. Make sure to subscribe down below so you get a notification of when I do upload that, because Zagara definitely has gone some massive, massive changes. For example, apparently she now has extra range on creep and all that, and all of a sudden her, you know, non-Ravenous Maw, the Nidus Worm, also seems to have at least some use. Now, in this game so far though, things have been looking very, very nicely. Bottom lane and bottom keep here are being pushed in, and they may very well end up falling, which is going to be really helpful, as the current map objective is in the complete opposite side of the spectrum. And I think it will indeed end up falling, so that's really good for us. Are we not going to activate it? Oh, we're chasing. Alright. Oh. We're chasing. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do a shrine. You guys can go ahead and do that. Wow, actually it didn't end up falling. It did not end up falling. Now, I gotta be careful, because apparently Kerrigan or Zagara is over here. I'm gonna need some help, I'm afraid. We'll go ahead and here use the Darkness Within. Now, even though my ally hasn't been, or my Uther hasn't been enjoying nearly as much that I've been life-tapping like mad, and this feels like the good old World of Warcraft days, where people love to life-tap and everyone just sort of gets caught at a very low HP. Like, for those of you unaware, right, in World of Warcraft, for a very long time, you would see people just life tap until they have barely no HP anymore and then die and then complain to their healers about what's going on. Oh, dang. I actually feared him to safety now, didn't I? Alright, lesson learned there. Gotta be careful about your fear. We should probably not even be here, to be completely frank with you guys, but... yeah, we probably shouldn't have been there. Are we doing the objective at the very least? We are. Okay, here we go. Once we get to drain life like that, it's very helpful, because it allows me to just sustain myself for so much longer. I think on one-on-one engagements, actually, I take that back. Like, if you're allowed to life tap like crazy, or you're allowed to like steal life like crazy from your allies, or from your enemies, you're gonna be capable of doing a heck of a lot of work. Now, sadly, I am caught with my pants down here. I've got no lifesteal, and I do end up falling there. It's pretty risky. Like, there are some pretty risky moments here, and all in all, actually, I'm not entirely sure if we're doing this as well as we could have. Let's regroup, guys. We may very well lose, because we were really far ahead earlier, and while we definitely still have an advantage, it's not looking nearly as amazing anymore as we previously saw. We definitely should probably just be moving here together. Although my allies seem to be really good though, like they seem to be working together nicely, and I don't seem to be jumping in like headless chicken. All in all though, I'm actually really excited for this. Like, they've done, when I expected this patch, right, I thought they would be introducing a couple of balance changes and maybe introduce a couple of minor things to the game, but they've really made some massive, massive changes to it. Now, let's see as far as damage output goes. We're not the highest damage output. We're in between Zagara and Thrall here. But it's not looking bad either, though. Like, we're obviously, like, we're technically an assassin, but I mean, we're obviously, for a first time here, we're obviously not going to be capable of dealing a heck of a lot of work, and all in all, even though we are technically a ranged assassin, we're pretty dang short you know, close combat for that matter. I mean, playing a hero like this always will take you quite a little bit of practice, as you just simply need to make sure that you are aware of when you can dive in, how much health you're actually going to be getting and whatnot. Sadly, Zagara did just end up falling. There we go. Now, I am hitting like crazy, and I think going for the health stone there did make a big difference. Nice. Do get a pick off. We do get the pick off. Oh, I'm not gonna be capable of being over there in time unless they manage to push him back. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, let me clean up these minions as well. Map objective should be available very soon, so that's good too. But it's always gonna take you a little bit of time before you figure out exactly how these heroes are gonna be played out. In particular, if you have someone like Gul'dan, who really, you know, relies on damage over time, and we got a little bit of Affliction, and even a little bit of Demonology. A little tiny little bit of Demonology. But, you know, we got some Affliction, and we got, what's the other spec called? Demonology, Affliction. Man, I played a whole bunch of Warlock. I'm sorry, guys, I'm blanking out. Anyway. We're gonna go ahead and do the map objective here. What? Why would you do that, dude? That seemed unnecessary. That seemed real unnecessary. Are we gonna set up a trap, or what's the idea? Okay, well, anyhow, I'm just gonna go ahead and start dealing some damage. Yeah, the 1 second cooldown on my Q is super nice. Does make things way easier. I think we may be able to clean this up before the enemies really get in here. Although, obviously, they are already all alive again. Oh, man. That damage right there was insane. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna have to run. Sadly, our Uther ended up falling there. That did make things significantly more difficult. We're gonna go ahead and get the upgrade for Haunt here. That also makes the enemies vulnerable, which should be good. We had a really good early game, but I think we still are at a pretty solid advantage altogether, or all in all, but I'm gonna need some healing, I'm afraid. Hey, roaches. Thank you, roaches. I'm sorry, guys. I'm all by myself. Not really doing a whole lot, but it's better than dying. Oh, man. Oh, man. Thank you very much. Sadly, they did just now manage to get a Punisher there. And everyone actually ended up going down. I mean, they are hitting the core right now, though, so there's that. And I'm going to be capable of defending here quite well, but I'm not entirely sure how amazing this is looking here. Now, obviously, he did pack the level 20 talent here to make sure that he doesn't, like, fully die. So that helps out a lot. Apparently, they've made minions a lot more powerful, by the way. Although, it's hard to notice that right now. Apparently, they have done so. Can I siphon life off of that? I can. Oh, man. Everyone's running really far out. When we've got one of these big bosses to kill. I don't think moving too far forward there was going to be helpful. Kerrigan will be back soon, though. The life tapping is really important to keep in mind. Like, you have so many buttons to press here compared to some of the other ranged assassins. Okay, fine. I'll use my stone. I'll use my damage stone. And also, the Mutalisk now don't time out. Of Zagara, which is a little funny, to say the least. She will play out completely differently. That's gonna be a fun hero to try out. But all in all, though, general consensus so far of my of Gul'dan, right? Really cool, really cool hero. I like the way they've designed him as far as lore-wise goes, like as far as like the feel goes of the Warlock. The only thing, right? And I know this may be something some of you will disagree with, but I think most of us will agree on this. We don't have any skulls. Like, if I think of Gul'dan, I think of the guy with, like, a skull necklace, like, covered in like, you know, death and decay, right? And sadly, I guess because they want to keep the age rating or whatever of Heroes of the Storm a little bit on the lower end, they've decided not to include those. Not even on the Master Skin, either. It's the same moment when they removed Tygus the Cigar way back in the day. I don't know if any of you remember that one. But they removed Tygus the Cigar and no one liked it. Super low, super low. Okay then. I'm gonna go ahead and just back up. Should be able to back up all the way and get back in the game. I can't save you, I'm afraid. I have no HP. Oh! Kerrigan, pretty good. Zagara, pretty good too, but hard to judge right now. Alright, let's go to the top lane here. We are definitely still in a very solid lead. We may very well be able to push in a keep here. Alrighty, let's start pushing this one in. It feels good though to play a Warlock in this game, you know? Like, we didn't really have a proper Warlock in here. We didn't really have a proper Warlock in Heroes of the Storm. All of the main casters, I suppose, are pretty good-natured. Not really any evil guys. Which I would say Gul'dan is pretty evil, but I guess that's an argument for another time. Maybe you're on the Fel Iron Horde. Or the Iron Horde rather, and you like the Fel magic. He actually went for the other ult there as well. You can see that. There's a different ultimate there. We did pick up the quad kill though. Very good. You have another ulti here as well on this hero. Obviously. And that one basically allows you to rain damage. Sort of like the Hyperion, it feels like from Rainer. Although I haven't actually tried that out in a game. It definitely does seem inferior. It definitely does seem inferior to the you know, the other one. Anyway. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention. The core was being pushed in. Alrighty, so we ended up picking up that victory. General consensus. Gul'dan seems really, really, really fun. I can't wait for him to be, you know, available in the actual game, because I'm definitely gonna go ahead and give him a try there as well. Anyhow, if you haven't already, hit that like button. If you would like to see more content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!